a guy like the great Devils GM Lou Lamoriello. Do you remember any conversations between you two or advice that you keep with you to this day?
Oh, too many to count. Too many to count for sure. Good, bad, and indifferent. He was a tough disciplinarian type of general manager. I was a young, rambunctious kid. He loved it on the ice. He didn't like it so much off the ice, so we had a lot of battles for sure. But we laugh about it now. And one story when he took me in the office, every kid coming out of junior had more offensive ability, and I became a stay-at-home, tough, physical, defensive defenseman. But even in my junior days, which people don't realize, I was a big offensive guy and got a lot of points. And when you get the National Hockey League, it's only a select few that transform that to the big leagues as far as having success in the National Hockey League. But he took me in one day, and I was playing some power play when I was younger, and when he came here, I'd already played 5 years. I was no longer on the power play, and I wasn't happy about it. He knew I was frustrated and took me in. He says, "Sit down, Kenny." He says, "I want to tell you, I liken my team to an orchestra." And he says, to make beautiful music, everybody has to play their instrument. And there's drummers, there's pianists, there's violinists. And he asked me which category I thought I fell in. And I pretty well knew where he was going with it. And I wasn't happy. I was angry, but smart enough to adhere his advice. And he says, and obviously I was a drummer, the guy that was in the trenches. And he said, if you master that drumming, you're going to play 15 years in this league. If you don't want to be a drummer, he says, and talking about understanding your role, he says, I'll call 15 other teams and see if they need a violinist, and if that's what you want to do. And I went out, slammed the door, but I was 23 years old at the time, but took his advice and said, instead of being jack of all trades, master of none, I listened to him. He says he didn't care if I ever scored. He says, for you to help us win, you got to be the best defensive defenseman, play tough, protect teammates, your goalie, and it worked out pretty well. And thank God a lot of players don't listen. It sounds simplistic, but we try to do more than maybe we're capable of at times as athletes, and especially at the pro level, and you find yourself out of the league in 4 or 5 years. Well, for me, I listened to him as disgruntled as I was, and it worked out pretty good. And I told him after I retired, I said, just to piss you off, I outdid you. I played 20, and we have a good chuckle about it this day. But he helped me a lot. He was a very loyal guy. He treated me like gold, even though gave me a lot of tough love along the way, and that's all part of it growing up and being a youngster playing pro sports.